Hey everyone, welcome back to more Pow Vista development history. This is how the game was created. This is the historical archive of what we did to make Pow Vista a reality. Last time we left off, we had just got in combat fully working with 2D sprites, as you can see here. And we had just added Ava as a playable character to the game in 2D sprite form. Something I should say real quick about 2D is that 2D is so difficult. At least it was for us. I mean, maybe other people know how to do it better, but it's so difficult when you have to animate every single part of the 2D sprite, at least in the classical sense. I know maybe they have better tools nowadays to do it better, but when we were doing this, we weren't doing it with all the new tools. We were doing it just hand-drawn, every frame of animation, and it was so difficult. So eventually we'll get here to the 3D part of the development history, but I'm going to move on now to the next slide here, what we have. So at this time, we've also added a skill system to the game. So this is the ability for you to have a collection of skills that can be leveled up. So here's the original dev request that I made asking for the skills tab to be opened up. And this is the first form of the skills tab. So did we even have a skate skill at this point? I don't know. It looks like we just had strength, hit points, fire, water, nature, and then we also had a mining skill here after electric. So no death skill back in these days. And these are the original fireworks animation that would happen when you leveled up. I think this is just ripped off of some Google Images GIF that I removed the white background of and we just ran with it. But this very soon got replaced with new custom fireworks. And by the way, the fireworks in the game today just look incredible. My brother Phil was just telling me about his love for the new firework animations. So check out this fun bug from this era of Pow Vista, okay? My damage numbers were straight up going into the negative. Let's see. Yeah, I see that. Negative 15. Yeah. Creating a combat system from scratch is difficult. Let's just put it that way. So let me tell you guys about the very first NPC that was ever added to Pow Vista. That is this security guard, okay? He's tons of fun to battle. He guarded these stairs on the first obstacle in Pow Vista. And I guess he was the precursor of the Tory warrior, right? In a way, the Tory warrior is the new version of this. Or the knight might be another. Now, honestly, the Tory warriors are the most applicable thing that today would reflect the security guard that hangs out by the stairs. But I think we may have a security guard coming back to Pow Vista soon. Let's see. Next up, I loved this era of Pow Vista, okay? We added water to the game. Check it out. This is water on the map of Pow Vista, okay? And it's even animating. Something that we don't have in today's Pow Vista is animating water. It might return one day soon, but here is the water. This is some free sprite pack somewhere that I found. But this is, when we added water to Pow Vista, that's when it started taking shape. The landscape started having nuance and detail to it. And then beyond next, okay, we started fine-tuning PvP. So in this gameplay video, I'm likely battling against my brother, Tim Aram. Yeah, I remember this day. Okay, so Tim came over. We all got our phones out, and we were playing some Pow Vista and battling each other. This is some great gameplay here. Just go full screen with this. Man, this is an era of Pow Vista, okay? You can see here we've got some kind of jittery knockback, but the essence is here. The battling, oh man, we got some craziness there with no death animation, I guess. The basics are there though, right? This is where PvP took its infancy. And this is a fun clip, and I think this is like several minutes of gameplay. But the big takeaway from that gameplay session was that we need to have food. You can't have a lot of fun when there's no way to heal up, and all you can do is run away and bide your time for your health to go up. You need to have some kind of food mechanism. So since I was eating calamari every single day from the local pho restaurant, I decided to make the first food item calamari. And this was my dev request that I sent to the lead dev himself. And so yeah, food got added into the game at that point. And here's another gameplay vid where I'm testing with Ariel, early gameplay, early player versus NPC, player versus player combat. And we got some calamari food items there on the floor, as you can see. And there's a level up animation right there. Then next up, we added fires. And then we replaced the calamari with like this squid food item, okay? This is the precursor. This is the type, the shadow of the eventual tentacle that would be in the game. But this squid food item, okay? Check this out. These are all the details on cooking food. But when I go here, I've got the raw squid, the fried squid, and the burnt squid. And we have this fire that was added into the game that was just kind of an everlasting fire that you can use to cook food. I wonder what time this was, like what time of the year this would have been, but this is still in 2021, right? And then here's what the first fire looked like when we put it in the game. Got a nice gameplay clip of that. Next up, we added the first ever tree into the game. This would eventually become the fir tree, but at this point it was just a tree. And I don't even have a clip of me actually interacting with the tree directly. I think at this point you can't even chop the tree. But this is June 28th, 2021. So this would be about 3 months into development, maybe even a little less than 3 months into development. And we have our first tree, PvP combat, in-game items, water. Things are moving very rapidly, very nicely. Here's some early cooking gameplay footage. So as you can see, I'm cooking up my fried squid here. And let's see what's next in the history of Pow Vista. Next, we added fishing. So, this is the way the player gains water experience. And here's the early, what it used to look like. I've got to zoom in on this. Here are the early days. Here are some screenshots where I was being particular about where we need to have those fishing spots on the original map. Here's a part where we worked with the NPC pathing so that NPCs could get stuck behind obstacles, because that's an important part of strategically playing the game, is using obstacles to your advantage to block NPCs from getting to you. We also made it so that NPCs could get blocked by other NPCs. So this is important for just the realism of the game, to have the NPCs line up behind each other versus just phasing directly through each other and piling up on you. It's nice that they block each other. This was an important gameplay mechanic here. And then the very next day I went to Disneyland, and I guess I just saw all this stuff in my camera roll, so I decided to post it in order. And while I was at Disneyland, our lead dev added in tree chopping. So this is where trees finally became interactable, and you could chop a tree. Looks like there's no animation at this stage, but the basics are here. You chop a tree, you beat the tree to get the wood. Okay, that's the gameplay loop there. You chop the tree to get the wood. Next up, we have improved NPC pathing, where they kind of move in your general direction. This was hard to get right. This was a tricky thing to get right. But here is another kind of like phase in the in-between of getting to where we are today with NPC pathing. Okay, so this is where things start to get crazy. This was the moment when I asked myself, what, if any, 3D features can we put in Pow Vista to help add depth? Because it all felt like a flat 2D world. And that was on purpose. But I felt like we could take it to the next level, especially with where the technology is today. It's like we're not making a game that has to work on a 1995 console. We're making a game that has modern phones that can run 3D engines. Why not utilize some 3D? So I use this as my reference, of course, Pokemon Diamond version. It's the best pixel art game in the world, in my opinion, that era of DS era Pokemon games. And I was looking at the depth here that there seems to be when you play the game. And we tried out doing a basic 3D thing. So you probably can't even tell the difference between these two screenshots. But this is where Pow Vista began its journey towards 3D. So do you see how the top of the screen on the right side, look at the checkers. They converge on the top and they spread out at the bottom. This was the beginning of 3D making its way into Pow Vista, and this is what I originally proposed to our dev. But what we got back from the dev was something more exciting than that, even more exciting. So check it out. Look at this. We are now in a 3D world. We are now on a plane of existence that is beyond the 2D realm. And it looks amazing, and I become instantly addicted and hooked on this look for the game. And then on or around this time is when I got COVID for the first time, because I'm looking at my camera roll as I was looking at all this stuff. I felt like it was necessary to share this video that I found of me suffering through COVID, because this was where development ground to a halt, at least on my end of things, where on the other side, our lead dev took care of continuing development, because there were a lot of things on the server authority side of things that needed to be taken care of that didn't require a lot of design direction, but were just technical challenges, like making sure that players who got the app weren't able to manipulate the game and, artificially raise their experience or do things like that. So I was looking in my photo camera reel and DMs, and it looks like on August 28th was the day I fully recovered, but it was so difficult, and I feel a weird nostalgia for that time. It was a weird time. So I recovered from COVID, and we get right back to work, and here's a screen recording from September 1st, 2021, where we're still having player glitching issues, as you can see. Here's a cool feature from the old days. So mining. This will make its way into Pow Vista very soon, by the way, but these are the days where we had the ability to mine, and we actually had a mining skill, which today is actually the earth skill. But yeah, so here's what mining looked like back then, and you could just collect like an ore of some kind. Here's the first ever bank chest that we put into Pow Vista. As you can see, the basic idea for the bank inventory is still the one that we use today. This was a mountain to climb. It is hard to add complex UI inventory systems that keep things simple for the player, but I think we did an excellent job with this one. One thing I really wanted with the bank was to keep the player on screen. So as you can see, the whole camera moves up to move your player up to the area that you're able to see up at the top, which I think is super cool. And here's a random bug where when you hit a NPC, they fly away. So that's where this video comes to an end. This is what Pow Vista looked like on September 22nd, 2021, 5 months into development. And between this screen recording and this screen recording, there are months and months and months, in fact, 30 months of development history that has still not been told on the Twitter thread. So I need to spend time continuing to log that and move images and screen recordings from my phone onto Twitter for historical keeping purposes. But in order to do that, I need to know that it's worth my time. So leave a comment if you enjoy these development history videos where I share how Pow Vista became the game that it is today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.